up, everyone? So I got this to work on today. It is basically the person is putting it away for the winter time. He doesn't plan on using it, so this is kind of how I like to put my machines away. Um, it's pretty much the same for any lawn equipment, 2 cycle, 4 cycle, anything else, but we're going to go through a little bit step by step. The majority of it is going to be the fuel system, and that's the big key right there. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So first things first, one, this has ethanol fuel in there. It's not mine, so it's not going to be the greatest. What I like to do in this case, it's customers, well, I guess they're not customers, but you know what I mean. There's about half a tank in there, maybe a little under. What I'm going to do is, I don't like using stable, but I'm going to put in stable in there. So this has a 1-quart tank. 1 ounce of this treats about 2.5 gallons. I need to go anywhere between this little filler. This is a quarter, so half that would be an eighth. I want to go just a little bit under an eighth for 1 tank. Probably a little bit, maybe even, yeah, it's a pretty small amount. But basically, I want to put that in there, and I'm going to fill it with non-ethanol the remaining of the way. That's going to do 2 things. 1, it's going to put good fuel in there, and 2, it's also going to mix up the solution I'm putting in there, kind of help saturate it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it run for a good 5 minutes, 10 minutes probably actually, to make sure all the fuel that is in the carburetor has been used up and the new treated fuel is in the actual bowl. Like I said, I'm not that big of a fan of this stuff, but considering the options, that's really the best. You can just drain it, but this is it's at least going to eliminate the possibility that I'm running out of fuel, because I don't really want to drain a whole half a tank. It is good gas, but then what do I do with it? I don't want to throw it away. This is at least going to prepare it for that process. So I'm going to pour this in, and we will be back. So a little bit under an eighth, this whole vial thing it comes with. And there we go. Like I said, not that much. This stuff also gets gummy if you put too much in. So that's going to do it for the fuel. Now, the person that owns this put a new air filter in there, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. But if this didn't have a new air filter, then you would want to go ahead and change it. But like I said, it's pretty sure brand new. Let's take a look. That's what he says, at least. Oh yeah, no, it's brand new. Okay. It also doesn't have an on-off switch on there. I kind of would like to cut and put one in, but there's really not that much space for it. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. Next thing that we need to do is put a new spark plug in. This is an NGK BPR60S. This is a Toro Super Recycler that has a Honda engine on it. Whatever your particular engine needs, just find out the spark plug, take it out, look at the code on it, buy the exact same one. But now we're going to want to change the plug. There's no real trick to this, just take it out and maybe that's the trick, is just taking it out. Come on. It has a metal boot on it. That's making it very difficult. There we go. 13/16. Makes except this is getting in my way. Try with the extension. There we are. It's probably a good idea we changed it. It's not horrible, but it needs to be done. The problem is, though, that's not a BPR60S like the manual said it was. So we're going to have to get a different plug and put that one in. So we have a BPR7HS now, and it's the same. Gap to 30 thousandths, brand new. If this was an older engine, I would be putting some Marvel down the plug hole, but not now. Mainly because I also need to run it. That's what's going to burn it up. There's no point in doing it now. But at the end, once it's warm or cooled off after I do the oil, I do like to take the plug out one more time and put a little Marvel down the plug hole, spin it over, put the plug back in, and then leave it for the winter oiled. So if you're going to not use it for a while, do that. I'm going to use it, so just imagine me putting a smallest amount in there and doing that. Next, I'm going to let it run for about 10 minutes, like I said, to get the gas out of the carb. And that's going to do two things. Get the gas out of the carb bowl. It's going to also warm up the oil so I can change it. You don't change cold oil. Just not a good idea. I'm going to tip it over, and then while it's draining, we're going to take the plug. Actually, no, we need to run it. We're going to sharpen the blades. And something else, the reason why I said, oh, it's a Bosch, I'm sure it's a great plug, and don't hate on me for bashing Bosch, but these types of engines just work better with NGK. Denso, if you can find them, that's a little bit of a hard one, but NGK just seems to run better with them, so that's why I like putting them on there. Bosch is fine for like the brakes and Stratton. It's kind of like you wouldn't put a Autolite plug in a Honda, like a car. It's just not a good idea. So I got all that done. Blade sharpened, the oil changed. Pretty hot. So now I'm going to put down a little bit of Marvel. So in the plug hole goes. Literally the only reason why you do that is just to coat the cylinder and the valves and everything. Hot, 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 hot. It's not 100% necessary, it's just a good idea to make sure everything's nice and lubricated. It's the first time that you turn it over in the springtime. There's nothing in there for a long time. It's going to be a wear point. Okay, I'm going to have to get a socket to do that. That's just too hot. It's done it in there. Plug it back in, and that's it. Another good reason why I like to fill the tank completely is because there's less area for air to get into, which sounds odd because it's full of fuel, but air has moisture in it. Moisture gets cold and condenses and causes problems. So if you can just kind of limit that possibility of air getting in there as much as you can, it's just one less thing to worry about. This is the same thing for pressure washers, except for a pressure washer you get something called Pump Saver and put it in the pump, which is basically antifreeze, and just read the instructions on that. 2-cycle equipment, same thing, just fuel. That's your main thing, and your plug and all that. So yeah, that's how you proper winterize your lawn equipment. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any other suggestions, let me know. If you if you like what you see, keep on watching. Definitely put a thumbs up. That helps me a lot. I'll catch everyone later, and definitely subscribe.